Saudi Arabia has temporarily suspended all international flights for 1 week, citing a lack of information on the new strain of COVID-19. Saudi Ground Services looks after the ground handling of passengers and aircraft in the kingdom, delivering services at 27 airports. The company deals with more than 88 million passengers on nearly 700,000 flights a year. Joining us now to discuss the impact on the outlook for 2021 is the CEO, Fahd Cynndy. Fahd, thank you for coming on the program. Let's get your initial reaction then on the latest developments overnight from Saudi Arabia and how disruptive that is to what you're trying to do.
Thank you, Yusuf. Well, it's still in the initial assessment per se. The latest changes came in as of last night. We've seen the virus mutation causing a disruption within the UK, and as a result is the temporary suspension of international travel as announced by the government in Saudi Arabia last night for a period of 1 week. Now, this comes at the end of a slow climb of international travel within the kingdom to roughly 30% pre-COVID. So from our perspective in ground handling and Saudi Ground Services, this is part of our estimates and scenarios and forecasts, looking forward to a better recovery. However, we do have the scenarios in place that address some setbacks as of last night.
Fahd, what are the immediate actions that you can take perhaps to mitigate any bigger consequences of these latest decisions? What are some of the operational chain reactions that come off the back of this?
Well, so at the beginning of all of this, at the onset of the pandemic breaking out in February, we had initial indications from the Asia-Pacific region of what was to come, and we started our plan accordingly. So by March, we were already in the containment phase of our reaction to the pandemic. And we continue through a minimum sustainable resource strategy that was developed back in March that sees first and foremost is the safety and protection and the well-being of our people, of course, as the frontliners who interact with passengers in and out. But from an operation perspective and a financial perspective, we focused heavily on the optimization of OPEX, moving from a fixed cost structure that was north of 85% of our OPEX was fixed cost, bringing it down to 70% at the moment, and further refinement into next year into the mid-60s. That gives us tremendous resilience in coping with the changes in demand as we see it going forward, especially in light of the new strains, a fear of a second wave, and any unforeseen changes to the recovery trends that we had enjoyed over the past few weeks.
In the past, Saudi Arabian Airlines has been a bureaucratic behemoth and known for overspending. Been a lot of changes that have happened, and of course, some of its subsidiaries getting spun out into separate entities. What kind of synergies can you carve out in this very uncertain time? I mean, what have you set yourself as a target for 2021 that could perhaps yield better returns for investors in your stock?
So you're accurate in the description that historically subsidiaries were part of the group. Our subsidiary per se is no longer a subsidiary. In 2015, Saudi Ground Services spun off completely and became a publicly listed company. So as such, we do have that arm's length relationship, and Saudi Airlines as a national carrier, like many others, we have 106 airline customers. Saudi Airlines happens to be one of them. Our relationship in terms of a synergy and operation support and services during the COVID-19 pandemic extends further beyond the classic ground handling and the management of passengers, the flow of cargo and the turnaround of aircraft. We have seen closer collaboration with Saudi Airlines as well as all the domestic carriers in the kingdom in terms of disinfection services, aircraft detailing, checking in the passenger temperatures, making sure that those health and safety protocols that were mandated by the government and the health ministry are in place. So we continue very close collaboration as one of our biggest customers is Saudi Arabian Airlines, but we're definitely fully independent and as a publicly traded company, so I cannot comment on the behemoth side of things.
Of course. In terms of some other potential tie-ups, in the conversations we've had on the program with other CEOs, there's often a strand of thinking that argues there should be more cooperation between regional players, especially in the aviation space. To what extent could that apply to your line of work and to what the company offers at Saudi Ground Services?
Well, you're absolutely correct. We've seen in previous crises and black swan events, post 9/11 and through the global financial crisis, we've seen a wave of consolidation and mergers. Right now, in the pandemic, as we speak, we're seeing Korean Air possible merger with Asiana. I believe it's already gotten the green light. We've seen the departure of some iconic airlines, such as Virgin Australia, also being squeezed out of the market into insolvency. So this particular nature of the common challenge brings the industry closer. We look at the wave over the past 12 years or so in the North American market. We see the consolidation of the top 8 airlines into the big 4 airlines, American with US Air, Delta with Northwest, and United with Continental, Southwest with AirTran. This behavior is a testimony to the fact that there is lots of synergies, and the consolidation does provide a better ground to combat crises such as the one that we see at the moment.
Are you exploring any potential deals on that front?
Well, from a ground handling perspective, the pandemic has not been a quiet period for us. In the past 7 months, we had rolled out 2 joint venture entities in collaboration with TLD, the French ground support equipment manufacturer, that is now up and running under the name TLD Arabia Equipment Services. Ground support equipment in the region, in the MENA region, is vast and diverse, and we saw an opportunity into the maintenance, assembly, and manufacturing of this as part of the Saudi vision towards localization of manufacturing of critical components. We've also launched a JV with an international company that operates and maintains jetway bridges. We've moved on to the airport operation arena, and we're in the midst of launching our e-marketplace that will allow airlines to synergize all of their back office work together into one platform. So hopefully we're contributing to the reduction from that aspect.
Fahd, it's been great having you on the program. Thank you for joining us. That's Fahd Cynndy. He's the CEO of Saudi Ground Services.